नमस्कार, स्वागत है आपका अपने यूट्यूब चैनल लखनऊ एकेडमी में। मैं एक बार फिर से आप लोगों के लिए वन वर्ड सब्स्टिट्यूशन का अल्फ़ाबेट डी से आने वाले वन वर्ड्स का हमने लास्ट वीडियो में रीअप्रोचमेंट तक कराया था। जैसा कि आप देख सकते हैं, डेवलपिंग फ्रेंडलियर रिलेशंस बिटवीन कंट्रीज और ग्रुप्स ऑफ पीपल हु हैव बीन एनिमीज कॉल्ड रेप्रोचमेंट। अब हम नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन करेंगे। Dictionary of the special terms in a particular field or job, that's called glossary. That's called glossary. अगला है die because one is unable to breathe, that's called suffocate. अगला हमारा difference between two opposite things or division into two opposite groups called dichotomy. Dichotomy. अगला हमारा difference especially between things that should be the same called discrepancy. The next one is difficult and unpleasant to do or deal with, that's called onerous. अगला है हमारा difficult to handle, control or deal with because of being large, heavy or complex, that's called unwieldy. The next one is difficult to understand, having or seeming to have a hidden meaning, that's called cryptic. The next one is dilemma or difficult circumstances from which there is no escape because of mutually conflicting or dependent conditions, that's called catch-22. The next one is direct descent from an ancestry or pedigree, that's called lineage. The next one is disappointing end to an exciting or impressive series of events, that's called anticlimax. तो इस प्रकार हमारी 11वीं स्लाइड ख़त्म होती है। अब हम शुरू करते हैं अपनी 12वीं स्लाइड से, जो कि अभी डी अल्फ़ाबेट ही हमारा चल रहा है। आई होप आप लोगों को मज़ा आ रहा होगा, पढ़ के अच्छा लग रहा होगा। तो चलिए हम अगले क्वेश्चन पे बढ़ते हैं। डिजीज़ और डिसऑर्डर दैट इन्वॉल्व्स अ पर्टिकुलर ग्रुप ऑफ साइंस एंड सिम्टम्स, दैट्स कॉल्ड सिंड्रोम. The next one is disease that spreads over a whole country or the whole world, called pandemic. अगला हमारा disguising of military personnel, equipment and installations by painting or covering them to make them blend in with their surrounding, that's called camouflage. The next one is dishonest or immoral persons, called sleaze. अगला हमारा displaying wealth, knowledge etc in a way that is meant to attract attention, admiration or envy, that's called ostentatious, sorry, ostentatious. The next one is distance of a place east or west of the Greenwich meridian measured in degrees, that's called longitude. अगला है हमारा distance of a place north or south of the equator, that means the line around the world dividing north and south measured in degrees, that's called latitude. अगला हमारा doing activities for fun or enjoyment, that's called play off. अगला हमारा doing better than someone or something, to be more successful than someone or something, that's called outdo. अगला हमारा doing something that is not allowed, to disobey a command or law, that's called transgress. अगला हमारा doctor's opinion about how someone will recover from an illness or injury, called prognosis. The next one is done or given because one wants to and not because one is forced to, that's called voluntary. बढ़ते हैं हम अगले क्वेश्चन पे. Dramatic works in which all or most of the words are sung to music, works of this type as an art form or entertainment, that's called opera. अगला हमारा drawing or pictures that show only the shape of an object, that's called outline. The next one is dull and ordinary, called mundane. मंडेन तो आप लोग पता ही होगा, बोरिंग, उबाऊ. मंडे बहुत बोर करता है, इसी ट्रिक से याद करते हैं लोग. द नेक्स्ट वन इज डल और सोशली inept person, especially someone who is excessively studious, that's called spod. इस प्रकार हमारा डी अल्फ़ाबेट वाला वन वर्ड ख़त्म होता है. अब हम स्टार्ट करेंगे ई अल्फ़ाबेट से आने वाले वन वर्ड. सो लेट्स मूव ऑन ई अल्फ़ाबेट एंड ऑल्सो आफ्टर 5 क्वेश्चंस वी मूव ऑन पेज नंबर 12. सो लेट्स स्टार्ट. पहला हमारा ईगर टू ओन एंड कलेक्ट थिंग्स, कॉल्ड एक्यूजिटिव. सॉरी, जस्ट अ मिनट. एक्यूजिटिव. अगला हमारा इजीली अफेक्टेड, इन्फ्लुएंस्ड और हार्म्ड बाय समथिंग, दैट्स कॉल्ड सस्पिटेबल. The next one is easily annoyed or angered and likely to argue, that's called truculent. अगला है हमारा easily hurt or harmed physically, mentally or emotionally, open to attack, harm or damage, called vulnerable. अगला है हमारा easily manage or control, willing to learn or be guided by another, that's called tractable. बढ़ते हैं हम नेक्स्ट स्लाइड पे। अगला हमारा eating both plants and animals, eager to learn about many different things, that's called omnivorous. The next one is economic situations where there is high inflation, prices rising continuously, but no increase in the jobs that are available or in business activity, that's called stagflation. अगला है हमारा effective from a particular date in the past, that's called retrospective. Elaborate or glib speeches or stories, typically those used by a salesperson, that's called spill. अगला है हमारा emails that are not wanted, an email that is sent to large numbers of people and that consists mostly of advertising, that's called spam. मेल पे हम लोगों को spam बहुत आता है, कॉलिंग में spam बहुत होता है. The next one is embarrassing social mistake, that's called fox pass. Fox pass. अगला है हमारा ending a romantic relationship with someone in a sudden and painful way, that's called jilt. The next one is ending an organization or group such as a club, called disband. The next one is end or failure of an institution, an idea, a company, etc., death of a person, that's called demise. अगला हमारा enjoy something for a long time, that's called savor. The next one is enjoying oneself or celebrating in a noisy or boisterous way, that's called roister. The next one is enjoyable in a lively or noisy way, called rollicking. अगला है enjoyments that someone gets from being violent or cruel or from causing pain, that's called sadism. The next one is entering someone as a member of or being a participant in something, that's called enroll. Enroll. Wait a second. Oh my god. Let's move on. Next question. Entering or appearing somewhere suddenly and with a lot of force, that's called erupt. The next one is enthusiastic and vocal supporters of someone or something, called cheerleader. आईपीएल में आप चीयर गर्ल बहुत देखी होगी. अगला है हमारा enthusiastic clapping by an audience as a sign of their approval, called ovation. The next one is error in the way a law, rule or contract is written that makes it possible for some people to legally avoid obeying it, that's called loophole. The next one is events causing great and usually sudden damage or suffering, a disaster, that's called catastrophe. The next one is events involving destruction or damage on a catastrophic scale, called apocalypse. The next one is events marked by festivities or celebration, called fiesta. Let's move on next question. अगला हमारा event or a short period of time that is important or unusual, called episode. अगला हमारा events or situations in which many people are killed and many things are destroyed, especially by fire, that's called holocaust. अगला हमारा events that may or may not happen, called contingency. The next one is exact or very close copy of something, called replica. The next one, examinations intended to qualify successful candidates for higher education, called baccalaureate. अगला है हमारा examples that represents or express something very well, called epitome. नेक्स्ट है हमारा excessive emotional or psychological reliance on a partner, called codependency. सो आज हम यहीं तक करेंगे, स्लाइड नंबर 12 तक। नेक्स्ट पार्ट में हम आपको स्लाइड नंबर 13 कराएंगे, जो ई अल्फ़ाबेट का रिमेनिंग बचा है। सो थैंक यू गाइस, प्लीज़ कमेंट ऑन द कमेंट बॉक्स कि आपको वीडियो कैसी लगी। हमारे चैनल को लाइक करिए, सब्सक्राइब करिए और शेयर करिए। अपना प्यार बनाए रखिए, इस वीडियो को अपना प्यार देते रहिए। सो थैंक यू गाइस।